Hey guys, I've just finished off this unit of Confederates for Martin's Perry Battle in a Box set. I'm lending him a hand with painting that up, and we're going to have probably a big clash at the end of it after painting everything up with the quick rules that are in it. I haven't really taken to black powder all that much. Yeah, not really my cup of tea. I mean, I say that, you know, I will end up using them probably. I just haven't taken the time to read them through properly, and I'm not sure what to do about black powder 2 and things like that. But as far as the figures are concerned, I've really enjoyed painting them. You know, the rules are a different matter entirely. I was really happy with the cavalry at the back. This isn't much, you know, I haven't even finished the 24-man unit because I haven't done the command base. So I've got the command base to do, and I'm going to treat that just on its own and do a proper job on that. And I'm going to do the skirmishes as well, and they're going to be on little MDF rounds, you know, 25mm MDF rounds. So yeah, that's about it. Try and get some good shots on the reps. I much prefer the tripod, I must say. Really happy with these. The figures are a bit daunting because they're realistically proportioned. You know, they're not the easiest to paint, but they're very rewarding when you do put in the effort and paint them up. For example, the faces don't necessarily have as much character, but that's more because it's overdone with larger figures. It's just not a bad thing or a good thing, really. It's just Perry miniatures are finer. You know, they are more detailed. They are more, and even when you paint them up like this, I feel they're more realistic. So, you know, if you're going to have a game and all of them are Perry miniatures, I think it can really look fantastic. Whether they're one of those ranges that don't mix as well with other ranges, especially within a unit, but I would tend to not do that anyway. But definitely keep them apart if you're going to do that. Just because the size, and they do, you know, they're true 28mm, you could say, and then more heroic scales. You know, they're nicer to paint, but they are bulkier. That's about it. I have got a few things running around in my head with projects and all, and I'm trying to stay focused. I did stay focused on these, and I'm happy with them, you know. The things I'm doing on the club at the moment are doing some saga and a winter project for Bolt Action, and that will entail, I think you've seen bits of it already. I've finished doing 5 stretches of stone walls, and for the miniatures I've been painting up winter Germans and converting some bits and pieces. I'd like to put some scarves on some of my plastic miniatures, so there's a lot of potential there. Hopefully that focuses for you. Yeah. But yeah, that's something in and of itself. I'm going to paint up one of my King Tigers, which is already painted as a winter camo, so rather than paint it all white though, I'm going to like streak it in as if it's been, I'm not 100% sure what they used when they were just slapping on white onto tanks and helmets and stuff. Is it just white paint? Maybe, unless it's some concoction of something else. But anyway, I'm going to try and make it appear as if it's been slapped on, you know, not carefully done in a factory, and see how that turns out, and then put some of the Valhalla Blizzard, the snow powder effect on the tracks, and perhaps, well, the engine's going to be hot, isn't it, so maybe as if it's melting, so do some crazy stuff with that. I would really enjoy that. But yeah, that's about it, folks. The other project is something I've just started today, and it's to do with the Welsh poem, the Gododin. So it's early Saxons, well, they are early Welsh fighting the early Saxons, so they're going to have been speaking Old Welsh, and the poems are in Old Welsh, and that survives. I'll probably read an excerpt of that quite soon, just so you get a feel for it, because I'm really excited about it. I'm doing my dissertation on it. But I've been converting some Warlord games, well, what are they called? They're like Celts Britons, you know, just generic barbarians for the sort of Roman period, and I've been converting those for, well, the more Saxon era. There isn't that much detail on weapons and armour. I'm just converting a few heads. They do. That's not a very good example, but they do actually fit. The gripping beast Saxon heads do fit on World Games plastics with no problem at all. There's no carving away of anything. No issues. So I've given that fella a Saxon shield. I have some spare. There's some suitable shields in the gripping beast Arab box of all things. And they fit. Gripping beast and World Games seems to fit very nicely together. Sorry about the focus, guys. So yeah, I didn't really want to do them strictly as Saxons because the Welsh, you know, weren't equipped in exactly the same manner. There's not much evidence for the period, so it does leave me quite a lot of freedom. I'm not going to use the Viking medals that I had a week ago. I'm going to use some of the ones that James gave me down the club. So he could be perhaps a chieftain, and he has a fur cloak. And this guy is a bit tenuous at the moment. His foot has been green stuffed back on. He came snapped, so I've tried to save him. But I do really like the look of him. He looks very sort of Scottish. The Welsh at the time were actually, their kingdom was in southern Scotland with their capital at Edinburgh, which I'm finding very fascinating at the moment. It was called the Old North, and it still is in Welsh, of Hen Ogledd. And sometimes the Gododin is called Scotland's oldest poem, more as a geographic thing, you know. It is Scotland, but it would have been a old Welsh kingdom there at the time, until they were defeated by the early Saxons, who threw them out, and they eventually established, well, Northumbria and you know, the Saxon kingdoms, the north of England, up there. So yeah, it was running. The Old North is kind of like runs over the bounds of southern Scotland across Hadrian's Wall then, and there was another kingdom, another Welsh kingdom, and I'll get all the details for you and I'll talk you through that. James has very generously given me a few figures already, which are already painted, and I've just matte varnished them. So I thought I might do some more interesting shield designs and stuff on them, and keep a sort of green theme, so a dark green. You know, use a lot of the German paints from Vallejo, like field grey and things. It might sound wrong, but it does actually come out quite nicely. I mean, this is quite similar to like a German green grey from Vallejo, and you know, they do look just the job. So I'm going to cut it off there, guys. I don't have too much to show you, just the Confederates really, and the early Welsh are an ongoing project. I'll just leave you with that. I've been enjoying your projects always, keeping up with your videos, hopefully commenting when I can. I'm going to crack on with the winter Germans this weekend. The girlfriend's away, so I've quite a lot of time to myself just to, well, obviously do a little bit of work, but also crack on with painting as well, especially in the evenings. So I'll leave it there, folks. Ta-da. Ta-da.